Alright, a right angle triangle has perimeter of 60 centimeters. So, what do I know about this question? A, B, and C again. So, their sum is 60. So, 60 is A plus B plus C. Then, I also know the difference between the longer leg and the shorter leg is 5, which means if I just call the shorter leg x, then the longer leg is x plus 5. And how about the hypotenuse? So if their sum is 2x plus 5, and if I add all these together, I'll get 60. So then 60 is 2x plus 5 plus hypotenuse. Then my hypotenuse is basically 55 minus 2x. So then a squared plus b squared, x squared plus b squared is gonna be 55 minus 2x squared. So there are a couple of ways to solve this, but let's do it in our traditional way. So x squared plus 2 times, don't forget 2 times always, the first term times the second term, which is x times 5. Alright, plus 5 squared is the same thing as 55 squared minus 2 times 55 times 2x plus 2x squared, which is 4x squared, because 2x in parentheses times 2x is 4x squared. Alright, so x squared plus x squared plus 10x plus 25 is, I'm gonna leave it as 55 squared for the time being, 220x plus 4x squared. Alright, so if I move everything from the left hand side to the right hand side by simply ordering them with this one, starting with this one, like 4x squared minus, look, this one, x squared. Okay, and then minus x squared, I'm done with those two, and then minus here 220x, and then this one minus 10x. So now I only have as constants, 55 squared here, this one, and then 25 here, but I'm gonna change its sign to 25. 25 is 5 squared, so I can leave it as 5 squared as well. I'm gonna show you why. So this one is 2x squared minus 230x plus, as my constant term, 55 squared minus 5 squared. Yeah, why is that? I'm gonna show you now. So 2x squared minus 230x plus 55 plus 5 times 55 minus 5. So then 2x squared minus 230x plus 60 times 50, which is 3000, is gonna be 2x squared minus 230x plus 3000. Alright, so I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. So then if I divide this by, this is 0 by the way, that's why I'm not writing anything here, as you know. So 115x, I'm just dividing everything by 2, guys. So because I can divide 0 by 2, which is 0, so yeah, that's why 1500. Alright, so you need to find two terms like constants whose multiplication is 1500 and whose sum is 115. Alright, so, and they both will be negative. Why is that? Because the sign here is negative. So I can see it, but yeah, I'll show you how to find it as well, just in case. So these are 150. So I can see it quickly, because of experience, but I'll show you why and how you can find them as well. Let's see first. So then this is basically x minus 100 times x minus 15, which is 0. Okay, the same thing. So but x cannot be 100. Why is it? Because 100, I mean the perimeter is 60, which means none of the legs or the hypotenuse can be greater than 100. So that's why. So this is not a valid solution for x, but this is a valid solution. X is 15, and then the shorter leg, I mean the longer leg, x plus 5 is 20, and my hypotenuse was what was it, minus 2x plus 55. Then it is if I just substitute x with 15 here, so minus 30 plus 20, 55 is 25. This is my hypotenuse, this is my longer leg, this is my shorter leg. Okay, so guys, for those, you can just, if you are done, if you know how to calculate it, it's fine for you. But for those who may not be 100% sure how to find these, I'm gonna show you a method. So guys, so everything can be described as x plus a times x plus b. What do I mean by this? So let's see. So x times x is x squared. So and then x times b, and then I'm done with this one. So now this one plus a times x, good, and then plus a times b. Now I'm gonna write it as x squared plus x in parentheses b plus a, or a plus b plus ab. Look at this, look at the similarity. So now my x squared is the same as x squared, and here the constant of x, b plus a, I mean, should be, I mean a plus b or b plus a, doesn't matter, is 115. Look, you see, minus 115, and there's multiplication a times b should be 1500. So a times b is 1500. So don't get me wrong, guys, it's not like my super ego, but if you can't simply see it the way I do, then you have got a way. That's why I showed you those things like a squared minus b squared and a plus b in parentheses squared and a minus b in parentheses squared kinds of things. Let's see what I mean. So if a plus b is minus 115, and if a times b is 1500, so then if I just calculate a plus b squared, so it's gonna be 115 squared. Okay, and but what does it mean? It means a squared plus b squared plus 2 times ab, and this is 115 squared. So then a squared plus b squared plus 2 times 1500, because I know a times b is 1500, is 115 squared. All right, so now if I can switch from this term, which is a plus b squared, to a minus b kind of a thing, I can simply find a and b. But how will I do it? So let's do it. So do you remember this one squared is a squared plus b squared minus 2 times ab. Now do I have a squared plus b squared here? Yes, I do. So okay, but let me see what let me show you. Actually I can see it, but yeah, a squared plus b squared here, I'm gonna leave it alone on the left hand side here. So and this is gonna be 115 squared minus 2 times 1500. Okay, this is my a squared plus b squared. Okay, so then I can just substitute it here, 115 squared minus 3000, okay, minus 2 times ab, 2 times 1500. Okay, so then can you see a minus b squared is 115 squared and 15 squared minus 6000. Okay, so yeah, this is how you can approach this question. So 115 squared, so you can just multiply them. So I'm gonna do it my way because I know what 115 squared is, which is 10,000. It's easier to calculate it. And I also know my famous formula, which is if I want to calculate this one, then I need to multiply their sum, which is 215, 15, and their difference, which is 15. So now it's easier. So 215 times 10 is 250, and half of it, which is 215 times 5. So if I just add them together, I can find it. So this is 1075. So then their sum is 5, 2, 2, 3. So 3225. What this is the difference between 115 squared and this one, 100 squared. If 100 squared is 10,000, then 115 squared is 10,000 plus this value, which is then 13,225. Okay, so and then a minus b squared is 13,225. So all right, so minus 6,000, which is gonna give you something like 7,225. So I mean, I know it's a little bit difficult, guys, but you know, you are allowed to use your calculators. But what I would do here is like, I know I need to take square root of this term, so I can do it because I know 80 times 80 is 6,400. I'm like, it should be a little bit close from this term. So what is the difference for me to have this number using 6,400? So the difference is 825. So then, so I'm gonna multiply two terms, and then I'll have something like a difference plus sum will give me 825. So, and this is divisible by 5. So if I divide this by 5, then it's gonna give me something like this. So 825 over 5, 1, 1, and then 3, 6, and then 165. So this is basically like 165 times 5. Okay, so but can I simply understand it from here? Yes, I can, because if I increase 80 by 5, it gives me 85, which is like a minus b is just 85. So if I also know a plus b is what was it, minus 115, so the difference between them is 85. So then you can simply find a as, you know, minus 100 and b as minus 15, guys. I know it's tricky, I know it's tricky, but you know, if one day you need to calculate everything without using a calculator, this is how you're gonna do it. Okay, so just so you know. And lastly, before I finish off my video, which I hope you will find useful, I'll show you one more thing. So if I were asked a question like this, then what I would definitely start off with would be something like, I know the most common right angle triangle, which is 3, 4, 5. So the difference between them is like 1 and 1, as you can see. So 1, 1, 1. So if the perimeter is 60, I know their sum is 12. So if I enlarge this by what, I get 60. It's 5. So if I enlarge all of them by 5, multiplying them by 5, I mean each and every one of them by 5, like 3 times 5, and then 4 times 5, and then 5 times 5. So this is 15, 20, and 25. Let me see. The difference between the shorter one and longer one is 5. Then their perimeter is 60. Then yes, this is basically the answer. Honestly, I would have done it this way, but I needed to show you how to do it, you know, like this, so that you can apply this formula, the Pythagorean theorem, to every single situation. Thank you, guys.